Hey there, this is Joe Slack from Crazy Like a Box, and this is how to play 14 Frantic Minutes. We're going to start with the setup. Here you'll see you have everything you need in front of you, with the exception of a soundtrack, which you can get when you download from the instruction booklet. There are 5 different challenge levels of cards, ranging from 1 through 5. These ones have 5 cards each, and the last one, number 5, just has the 1 card. You'll also have a reference card, which you should give to each player, the Evil Genius token, the 4 bonus tokens, the polyomino pieces that are in 4 different colors. There are 5 in each group, and the security lock cards. We start by taking one of the security lock cards and leaving it in the front play area and leaving the stack within reach of all players. All players will receive a reference card. And we're going to set up the deck according to the difficulty level. But we're going to start at Fright Level 1, which is the starting setup for the game. We're going to shuffle each of these individual decks and select cards according to that difficulty level. The starting difficulty level for your first game is a setup with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as 2 bonus tokens. So you're going to randomly select 2 of these bonus tokens to keep and put the other ones aside. It indicates that you're going to put one above card A and one above card E. So A, B, C, D, E, face down. And place the Evil Genius token just to the left of the first card. Now we're going to divide up the polyomino circuit pieces by players. If you're playing 1 player, you get access to all of them. If you're playing 2 players, 1 player will take set A and B, the other will take set C and D. If you're playing 3 players, 1 player will get A, 1 will get B, 1 will get C, and all players can access D. With 4 players, each player will have their own set. Now it's important to note that you can only ever touch your own pieces, whether you're placing them or removing them from the circuits. So make sure to only ever touch your own pieces during the gameplay. We'll hit start on the soundtrack and we'll be ready to go. As soon as you hear that first door unlock, you're going to be able to proceed. Flip over the first challenge card, and if there are any tokens above it, flip that over as well. There are 4 bonus tokens available in the game. They're all one-time use and can be used at any time during the game, except when you're in the 7th and final room of your game. The 4-way connector will allow you to place it on the board and make more connections. The bypass will allow you to place this over top of any obstruction and go over it. The switcher will allow you to change the color value of any of the nodes. For example, if you needed to get to yellow and blue and you're having a hard time getting to yellow, you could switch that to blue and green. And deactivate, which allows you to remove one of the requirements for the nodes you need to get to. Now we're also going to flip the security lock room, and our goal is to meet what is on this first card. We have to connect the starting point to the green and blue nodes. So we have to connect from here to the green and the blue nodes using these circuit pieces. Again, you can only ever touch your own pieces. Now all players will frantically start placing their pieces on the board, turning, rotating, and flipping their pieces, and placing them somewhere on here that they think will help to complete this circuit. Once placed, you can always remove them. However, you must follow some rules. They must stay within the board. You cannot go outside of the borders out here. Also, pieces cannot overlap each other, so you can't place one over top of another. You can also not play on these resistor pieces because they are blocking the way, so you must play around them. So you'll simultaneously be placing the pieces, trying to figure out how to come up with a combination to get to these different colors. In order to connect the circuit, the yellow pieces must connect one to the next, like such. A piece like this would not be connected because there's a break between the yellow lines here. It's also okay if you accidentally connect another node that is not on here, or leave any wires that are just sticking out, not connected to anything. That's fine as long as you accomplish your goal. Take note of the different pieces. Many have splits that will allow you to go in multiple different directions. And only very few have very tight, short bends. So keep these in mind and get familiar with the playing pieces. You can place them anywhere on the board as you go. If you're able to make the connection, then all players take off only their own pieces and you move on to the next level. Remove the card and take another one from the top of the pile. Flip over the last challenge card you had and move on to the next one. Meanwhile, the soundtrack is playing, and every 2 minutes the evil genius will be advancing. Whenever you hear the sound of the door closing, he moves ahead one room. If he ever advances into the room that you're currently in, it's game over. Your goal is to get to the very last room and complete it before the evil genius reaches you. If you're able to make the last connection in the final room before he reaches you, you've won the game. But if he reaches you first, you've lost.